You have to really find yourself somewhere to fit in. So I'm not gonna let John be up there talking about bang, 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 and I'm sitting there looking like crushed dog food or something. Oh, baby, please don't stop. You gotta find somewhere to come in there and get in there and do something, or you lost.
I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down?
What's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast and Legacy Builder University. You already know what it is, and I'm here with my lovely oldest daughter, Rachel Renee.
What's up? I'm super excited and I'm super honored.
I
This
am
is a
too.
huge
I'm
deal.
super excited. We've done a lot of interviews, but I'm not being funny. This is one that I was kind of nervous about and excited about.
Yeah.
But
You
but
did
real
it.
quick, we'll get into it. Hey, listen, y'all tap in at iambigcourt.com with my Legacy Builder University community, where we're teaching you how to monetize social media, e-commerce, right? E-commerce, we're teaching you how to level up your life. So tap in, iambigcourt.com. We got about 1,000 members, man. Y'all don't know what you're missing. Go to iambigcourt.com for Legacy Builder University. But without further ado, we have a legend. And I don't use that word lightly. And I am so serious. We have a legend, a living legend in the house right now. And I feel super honored and special because this lady, she does not do media. She does not do interviews. But with the help of the homie Brian, he coaxed her to, let her know that Holdin Court, if she was going to do it, she should do it with me. So I'm super honored. And a lot of you people, y'all have been seeing her for decades. And I'm not trying to put age on you. I'm putting
Well, it's there.
I'm putting excellence on
I
you.
praise God for it.
Yeah. But some of you guys, depending on how old you are, that's crazy because we got to talk about what decade you in. Some of y'all knew her from Good Times as Miss Savannah Jones, right? Which I remember. Some of y'all knew her as what else?
Miss Pearly for the young.
Miss Pearly from Friday,
The youngins.
which we got to get into that. And all these Myra from Martin.
Yeah.
From Martin. So each decade, you have got a piece of her talent. You have, witnessed her greatness. So without further ado, we have the lovely, talented Miss BeBe Drake. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Listen, let me start off with saying I know we talked about it before the cameras got rolling. This is not something that you do or that you really care to do. So I have to really express my gratitude that you were willing to sit down with me and my lovely daughter.
Yeah, I
do
didn't know
this.
I was going to sit down with a daughter, too. This is a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
But it was important, man, because you don't do a lot of media and you haven't, man, in this digital age, I felt it was necessary to document your journey and also just give you your flowers, especially to this new generation. They see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know your work. They know who you are. But, nowadays they like to kind of connect, who you are and what you've done and get a little more personable. So, I appreciate you doing it.
I appreciate you doing it.
And so I just want to start from the beginning, just a little bit, because I know we got a lot of space to cover with that. But where were you born and raised?
I was born in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Raised, lived in Nashville, Tennessee, lived in Englewood, New Jersey, and then California, Sacramento, Los Angeles, New York, too, for a couple of years to get on stage and get with the Negro Ensemble Company, which every day when I walked in there, I felt like I was going to pass out because it was just overwhelming that Douglas Turner Ward had hired me, as one of the actresses for Negro Ensemble Company. See, for me, and most of us in this country, period, there was nothing bigger or better than the Negro Ensemble Company. I mean, that was the elite of Black theater, how they started. That was oh my God, Clarice Taylor, Frances Foster, Esther Rose, Moses Gunn, Robert Hooks, Douglas Turner Ward, Denise Nichols, and all of them from the Negro Ensemble Company that came out to California got got jobs and got popular. Denise Nicholas was a Room 227. Esther Rose, Good Times.
Yep.
You know, I mean, everybody wanted to be a part of NEC. It was just, you have to understand, as it's just deeper than being a starving actor. You don't have anywhere to take this gift that God has put upon you, okay, except in some small way of maybe a group of you getting together and putting together some community theater, you know, at that level. You don't have anywhere to explore or to go or to do anything. And this was, Negro Ensemble Company was, okay, you go into Samuel French's store to buy a play or a monologue or something like that. And when you open up this play that you've bought, on the first page or second page, it will say, premiered or done at the Negro Ensemble Company. And that's what would be in that Samuel French playwright book that you would take and study and do, you know. So to be at NEC was huge.
So where was that seed planted? Like, what inspired you at a young age to want to get into the arts?
Oh, racism. Racism.
Okay.
You know, I had to integrate. My story is not difficult. It's an easy story, but I would have to integrate my parents. I had my parents a long time, so I get a little emotional. I miss them very much. When my mother died, her and my father had been married 70 years. I had my folks a long time. And, wow, compose yourself. So my mother and father met at Morgan State College during the Great Depression in the 30s. There were 700 students on campus, and each of them was so poor that they couldn't afford to go home. My dad was from Neptune, New Jersey. And my mother was from Youngstown, Ohio. They had migrated from Vidalia, Georgia, up to Ohio. And my grandmother, her mother was Black, and my grandfather was a white Irishman, Henry Hayes. So they had their struggles. And my mother said they fought all the time. Make a long story short, my dad, I can't get, it's too much story to get into, so I'm just going to bridge a little bit of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Once my dad graduated, it was decided that he was going to go to Meharry Medical College. He got accepted, and we moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Upon arriving there, I guess, I don't remember kindergarten, first, second grade. I have no memory of them. But my mother brought some books home and we couldn't read, and she got very upset. So she took my brother and I and put us in St. Vincent de Paul Catholic School with the nuns. Now, back in those days, there were 3 classrooms. It was one big room, and the 3rd and 4th grade was here, and the 5th grade was here, and I think the 6th grade was over there. Because I remember my brother being 2 or 3 aisles over from me, and he was always a couple of years older than me. And of course, we learned to read and learn whatever, but you have to remember everything that I did and that I saw was Black. The closest thing I saw, or I thought was white, was nuns and my mother. But everything else was Black. Price Drugstore was Black. Meharry was Black. Across the street where we used to go and smell the magnolias, Fisk University was Black. The store was Black. Sitting up in the balcony at the Ritz Theater was Black. I never saw white folks, because that's one thing that they did, was protect us from that. Okay, so we end up, my father had to end up interning at Harlem Hospital, because then there were very few places in the United States of America that a Black man could intern, had an internship, and one of them was Harlem Hospital, and I can't remember the other, Tuskegee, and I can't think of the third one. There was only like 3 places. something like that. So anyway, he ended up interning at Harlem Hospital, and we ended up going to moving into New Jersey, Englewood, New Jersey, and going to school. And that traumatized me because all of a sudden I'm thrown into a classroom with all these white kids, blue-eyed devils. And I mean, it was horrible. There were 3 or 4 of us who, it was by zones. So I guess we lived in a zone where we would have to go to Liberty School. And of course, there's 3 of us, Kenny, myself, and Gail White. I'll never forget. And they said us, welcome, come in the back of the classroom. And that's where you remained, in the back of the class, scared to death. I was scared. I was always afraid. But who do you tell? You go home and tell your mother you're afraid. These people are so strange. It's just strange, But how they treated you in New Jersey was that the racism was the kind that they'll tolerate you.
Okay.
But you can't participate. But you'll be tolerated. But you don't know then.
Right.
You're in the 4th grade.
Right.
You don't know anything.
Was it just the kids and the staff alike? Did you feel that from the teachers as well, or just the students?
It's just the
You
whole,
feel it.
everything that circumferences you that is what you feel. And that's how it all started. And then I was a very pretty child, I'm told. So,
Well, you're still a very
we
pretty
can see
woman.
that.
so
Yes.
well, let me give you $1. So anyway, it was just, I went through the 4th grade, went through the 5th grade, got into the 6th grade, and they were trying to put together a play for the community chest, like the Red Cross or something. They're trying to put this together. And this teacher said, well, B is pretty, let her do it. Okay, and so make a long story short, they gave me this little thing that I had to say and do all this for the school play. All the parents are going to be there. I'm scared to death. I take it home. I give it to my mother. She helps me with the lines, and she goes somewhere, I don't know, Goodwill or somewhere, and buys this red. It was the Queen of Hearts was the character. And buys this red velvet thing and fixes me all up, and I'm going to do this play. And so we did the play, and then it came time for my speech, and I did the speech, and the people just clapped and clapped, and I'm just in shock. And my mother is just sitting up there so proud, and that was the beginning. Because it was a great escape, and I felt that, they like me, I'm accepted. And it was just the best feeling I ever had. And that was really sort of the beginning of it all. Something happened when I got on the stage. Something automatic happened to me. And it was acceptance. That's what it was. It was acceptance. It wasn't about talent. It was acceptance. But my mother got so excited by all of it that she put me in drama school. Now, I'm this little young black child in the 50s. My daddy is taking me every Saturday over to New York to go to, can't remember the name of the school, Sammy Davis. My mother scouted all around. I'm going to send you to one that Sammy Davis went to. Dramatic Workshop of Arts. I think it was 51st and Capitol Avenue in New York. And I went every Saturday. When I look back at the money, they didn't have money like that then,
Yeah.
And that was sort of the beginning of it, that was the beginning of it, and learning all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your parents, they supported you in that. They fostered that in.
They supported me in all the crap that I did. I did a whole lot of stuff. I was a wild child, 3 brothers.
Okay.
And me, and I was terrible.
What was the wildest thing you did?
What, beside having a
That you can say.
child out of wedlock?
Well, I did that. I mean,
Everybody did
I
that.
did that.
I don't know. Just staying out all night, disappearing.
This is her
Uh-huh.
time. Listen, at that time, this was salacious.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah, you are right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I did it
Yeah,
with
it
you in
was
the 90s. It
terrible.
was more
Yeah.
norm. Yeah,
was
you're
because-
right.
yeah.
How was that, having your first child in that time out
Yeah.
of wedlock?
It was terrible. It was embarrassing. You didn't come out the house.
Yeah.
What?
You
Yeah.
know, and you're forced. You have to get married.
Mm.
You know, you don't have to live with anybody or set up a private, but you better get married
Okay.
because the shotgun thing was real.
That was real?
But I was also the doctor's daughter. Okay. So yeah, you gonna get married.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're gonna stay with your mother, and I'm gonna stay with my mother.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't play that.
So I noticed in the 70s, is that where the hyphenated hooks at that time came from?
That was one of my marriages.
Oh, one of them. Okay.
That was one of my marriages. I've had 4.
Okay.
I've had 4 marriages. Yeah.
I'm curious, what did you learn in those 4? Did you get it right after, or did it get
I
right?
learned that I'm a bitch and need to be by myself.
You know, I feel you. Listen,
Why you say that? You feel so you just like your space. You just learn, look, it's me.
Thank
it's me
you.
and it's okay,
Thank
and I'm
you.
gonna do me.
I don't know. I just I love men,
yeah.
but I don't think you really have to be married to have one.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm not real easy to get
Yeah.
along with.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you seem
Yeah.
so sweet and so, docile.
No, I mean I can be, but I'm just not really that,
What do you think that's attributed to? Why do you think that
spoiled,
uh,
being the only girl in my family, basically kind of having my way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I love this though, and you're a woman that enterprises on her own, so it's like she can just do what she wants to do.
And then because I really didn't need anybody's help. You know, my folks
Exactly.
always helped me. They're to blame for my success. Because when I went to New York, they sent me a check the first of every month for $250. I think that's what I was paying for rent. But can you imagine that?
Wow.
A
That's
garden
amazing.
floor through for $250 in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was paying $250. And they sent me that. And I also, I got paid. NEC paid us $169 a week. Child, I thought I had arrived.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Yeah.
kind of a lot of money
That was
back then.
well, that
though.
was a lot because I'd
Yeah.
always done whatever you do in theater, you're gonna do it free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would just sit there in the days, I'm getting paid for acting. that was a big deal.
And what year was this? The 60s, 70s?
I graduated in 72. This was 73.
Mm-hmm.
This was 73.
Okay.
Yeah, 1973. But that's the whole thing, the whole racist thing and the
Yeah.
freedom of being on stage and being accepted. White folks was out there clapping for me. I mean, that whole thing. And then as time moved itself, Saturday, whatever old black and white movies you see about teenagers and kids and stuff, they're real. Because Saturday was movie day. Everybody went to the movies on Saturday matinee. And the first time I saw Dorothy Dandridge on screen, I knew I was going to be an actress.
Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Who was this beautiful, beautiful black woman up there on this screen? And what was that? That was was it Porgy and Bess? No. Or was it? I can't remember which movie it was. It Harry Belafonte?
I don't know.
I just know Carmen.
Yeah, I don't know too much.
Carmen Jones.
Carmen. Mm-hmm.
Carmen Jones. It was Carmen Jones.
And she had on the black and the red.
Yeah.
She was moving through dancing.
I worried my mother to death to get me one of them dresses.
Yes.
I worried my mother to death. My mother said, you
Yes.
don't have any butt. You're too young to get that dress. I worried her and powdered around there so bad. She got me a red Carmen Jones dress for Christmas.
That's right.
But that was a really turning point. And then things change as your life moves on.
Yes, for sure.
And you having babies, you're getting married. I love doing hair. I wanted to go to beauty school. So my mother got Mrs. Tutt. I miss all these people terribly. Mrs. Tutt was working at a nursery school in Oak Park in Sacramento. And my mother literally stole her. She said, if you come babysit for my daughter, she paid her more money. I don't know what she was making, but she offered her $50 more a month or something like that. And she came out to my house. I love Miss Tuck every day and watched my kids. And I went to Sacramento City College and took the cosmetology course. Finished it, eventually got my own shop and was pretty popular.
Oh, wow. And this is in Sacramento.
This is in Sacramento.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty popular. Had a nice beauty shop. Kind of had it going on, and something just, my mother helped me do all of this, but I knew that somewhere in me, I don't know, God was just really running my life. Because somewhere in me, even though I had accomplished this and finished and everybody seemed fine, I always felt that my mother was upset with me for not finishing college. I just always never felt good about it. And so this program came along, the Education Opportunity Program, the EOP program started up. And somebody came in my beauty shop one day and said, B, girl, I'm going over to Sac State. Sac State for what? Yeah, they got this program. I said, I couldn't get in. I said, because when I left school, Sacramento City College, I left with 5 technical Fs. I still got all those reports. TF, technical F, because I got married. He was in the Air Force, and I moved right on out there by McClellan Air Force Base with him. And I never went back and took legal leave of absence or dropped or did anything. You could probably get in. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it just burned in my spirit. It burned in my spirit. And one day I got in my car and went over there, over to California State University, Sacramento. Found this EOP office, a bungalow way in the back, and went in there, made an appointment. Who do I see? What do I do? I'd like to talk to somebody about getting in. I know you wouldn't accept me or accept my grades, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And Dr. Klingelhofer said, it's funny how I can remember some things and can't remember others. And he met me, and I came in and talked to him and a lady. And they asked you all about yourself and your business. At that time, I had 4 kids. And what are you doing? And I got a beauty shop, and I do so-and-so, and I do so-and-so, and I do so-and-so, and so. I would just like to finish school. I want to get, I just feel that I need to come back and finish school and this, that, and the other. I said, but I got technical Fs, so I won't be able to get in. So he said, well, you know what? I can let you in under the EOP program. I don't know if we're going to be able to get rid of the technical Fs, or if you have to eventually make them up, but we'll get you started. I'll let you know. So I got a letter saying they had accepted me. And that was it. My mother was over the moon. She couldn't believe it. I went and showed her the letter. She just looked, she was just over the moon. She was just gone with that because, see, she wanted me to go to Fisk or go to Howard. She wanted me to marry a doctor.
Yeah.
That whole thing, that was the thing back then. And here I come up having all these babies and marrying these other folks that she doesn't really care about, So anyway, that was the second part of the acting. Because when I got in there, you know, now we going to Sac State, which is California State University, Sacramento. And it was a beautiful time because it was 1968 and was doing 68 and 69 at Kent. Had their whole horrible campus thing at the Kent University. A couple students got killed. It was the whole thing. And we were doing our protests, handful of us. We weren't even 1% of the population in Sac State then.
Right.
And we had the Black Student Union. All of this was just starting. It was just, had Panthers on campus.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's exactly where I was going to segue into. So you're old enough to remember the civil rights movement.
Oh, absolutely.
Before and after.
Absolutely.
So where were you in all of that? Were you involved?
I was in the
that?
Panthers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my mother and father were going crazy. We don't want you doing it on the Capitol stairs of Sacramento giving speeches. They come everywhere they wanted to go. They come and get me and give the speeches. My mother, these white folks will kill you. Da 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 da, you know. But I was you so brave and bold.
So young. Youthful and
yeah. But this acting thing was always pulling at me. We managed to get Wilma Rudolph, I was telling him today, to come and teach gym, to do a gym. Wow. Paul Kotter Harrison to come, and he started us with what's called the Sons and Ancestors Players, forming Black theater on campus and doing plays in the major main theater. And I was showing him my medals today. We got so good. We did Philip Hayes Dean's Sty of the Blind Pig, and it won American College Theater Festival, the first Black troupe to ever win it. And they flew us to Washington, D.C. to perform it at the Kennedy Center. And that was in 1972, and it was fabulous, you know. So I'm in it now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in this thing. I'm in it. So upon graduation, I told my mother, listen, if I want to be professional, I'm going to have to go to New York. And so eventually we found someone that would help, you know, watch the kids and do this, that, and the other. I was only in New York about 6 weeks before it was hard. Yeah. It was hard before I sent for them.
Right.
I had found
How many kids had you had at that time? How many kids had you had?
4.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was hard. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. But, you know, I got blessed with work because winning American College Theater Festival at that time, I really didn't understand that, had laid a path for me. The Novella Nelson was alive at that time, and she, you the girl that won the American College Theater Festival. Yeah, child, they talking about you all over New York. You gonna get work. And nobody was like getting work. So I worked for Joe Papp Shakespeare Festival. I got work, but Negro Ensemble Company was it for me. That was just.
So you never really had the thought at that space about cinema. It was all about Broadway and
for
stage.
me, it was theater.
Theater.
And Brand was Broadway because we did First Breeze of Summer at the Palace, and that was my Broadway credit. My thing was getting back to California. I had never, I thought about it, but the whole plan was to get a resume started and get some kind of credits going.
Yeah,
you know, I'm doing research, and I need some credit, and I need to be able to get an agent and get all of that. And everything was go to New York. You got to go to New York. You got to go to New York. But what really got to me was I wanted my children out of New York because all of their windows had these thick screens, you know, on them. You know, those
Bars.
New York screens. You have to unlock it and open it up, and you know, like guard gates, except it looks meshy like screens.
Yeah.
And they didn't have sports. They didn't have no swimming pools. You know, I'm California. We spoiled.
Right.
You know, they didn't have swimming pools. Some of them didn't have my son wanted to run track. They didn't have a track or a football, team. It was surprising. Some of the schools did, but so many of them didn't have all these things. And I didn't want my kids in those schools. I said, I got to get back to California. I got to get back to California, get my kids back in California schools. And I was talking to somebody one day, or talking to an agent, or Douglas Turner Water talking to somebody, and he said, you got enough credit? You got enough credit. I did this little report to commissioner, and I got me a card because my mother told me, she said, if you can get a SAG card, you should get one now. I paid all of $500 for my card.
Wow.
And they how much are they now? In the thousands somewhere, something
but
crazy.
Even that 500 was a handsome ransom back then. Though.
It was, well, you know, my mama gave it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, but also I was a member of Equity.
Okay.
Because my mother told me you should do that. I said, well, Douglas Turner Ward says I don't have to become, because their equity contract states that as long as you have so many, whatever the percentage was, so many equity players, you can also use non-equity players. So I would come under the guise of non-equity players, and it was all right. And my mother said, well, I don't care what he said. It's never all right, B. You should always join your actors unions. They'll become important to you later on, and they did. And I had no idea how important all that would come.
Wow.
So I did join Equity. And then when I got report to commissioner, I had a speaking part. So as long as you had a speaking part, you could join SAG. And then I was a member of Equity. So you're right, it was, because when I went to Screen Actors Guild office and told them, and I had my paper, I had my contract, day player contract, and they saw all that. She says, oh, and you're already in Equity. Okay. So that'll be 500, you know. So I was ready.
So at what point did you transition to Los Angeles to start pursuing film, or did you come out here for theater as well?
No, I think I definitely came out here for film.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had done Report to Commissioner, and I'd done a little bit part on The Young and the Restless.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was coming out to film because everybody, this was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Everybody was coming out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, everybody, I mean.
Was it a big adjustment coming from theater to film in terms of performance and auditioning?
You know, auditioning is auditioning. You know, you take these words off of this paper and you give it meaning. So auditioning is the same. But I had to learn the craft, the craft of the camera, how to find your light. What the hell is he talking about? Find your light. You know, you had to really learn all of this stuff.
Right. That's right.
The directors yelling, B, you need to find your light.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really don't know. I had to learn all of this stuff.
Yes,
Find your light, you know. And somebody always would come along and coax you. I think one of the veteran actors at that time said, just move until you sort of feel the light and see it you in your face, you know. And, you know, and you feel it, and that's your light. And you because they'll make you look like a black spot. And that's when they were making you look like a black spot. You know, they just weren't lighting you properly, you know, at one time.
You think that was intentionally?
No, I don't think that they had the technology to know how to light you.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that was intentional.
Okay.
They didn't know how to light you. Or they just didn't have the right kind of lighting or the technology. No. I don't think that's...
Were race relations different in LA opposed to what you had referenced in New York and Sacramento?
You know, it depends on the circumstance. If you're talking about the industry, of course, the industry was, and still is, packed full of nepotism. Always. All of the technicians, the carpenters, the craft people, the cameramen, the electricians. You would meet their uncles, their brothers-in-laws, eventually their sons. It's just full of nepotism. The unions, the part of the AFL-CIO, the Teamsters Union, the drivers. It was close-knit. Rarely did you see anybody black. It was rare to see any of the technicians or anybody behind the camera until, of course, the Gordon Parks.
Yes. Yeah.
The
Super
Gordon
fly.
Parks
Yeah.
came along and all of that. And of course, we didn't know anything about the films that they found in the attic that were done in the 30s. I got a chance to see some. I wish I had them. I wish I'd have recorded them. I got a chance to see some of them. They were done like 1933 and 34. There's a whole museum of these films.
They're black films.
They're talkies,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in black and white, and they were found in some attic.
Wow.
I don't know who shot them, who did them. They came along with Green Pastures. Have you seen Green Pastures?
No.
They usually show it during Black History Month,
Okay.
February. Green Pastures, and there's a couple of more of them. But
I'm curious. So you came out to LA in the 70s, and this was kind of the start of the blaxploitation era.
yeah, well, no, it was already going on, kind of.
Okay.
But like Albert Hall calls it black employment. He won't use the word
No,
exploitation.
right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. We kind of having that now with the explosion of Tubi and the streaming.
Yeah.
So we kind of having a renaissance of that now. But did you see that as more opportunity being presented as an actor?
Mm-mm. When I came out, Pam Grier was doing Foxy Brown and all of those. And I don't know, what was my first job was Good Times
Okay.
as Savannah Jones
Really?
with the late Teddy Wilson.
Okay.
That was my first. Was that my first job? No, but to me it was like my first job.
Yeah.
I got a couple of jobs. You know what? I can't even remember the Xanadu.
Xanadu, yeah.
Where she had on a security guard outfit, a day player with a security guard outfit, and I think I had one line, and glad to get that job.
Yeah.
So I had that. I had a few little jobs like that the agent would, but you still had to have an agent to send you for them. I call them upper class extras.
Right.
Look, you got
Yeah.
something to say, and you're signing a day player contract, know. But my thrill, everything had changed so much. Jane Murray was the person who cast all the Norman Lear productions.
Okay.
And if you can get in and she would like you, you're going to work. If she didn't like you, you're not going to work.
So do you have any fun stories about working with Sherman Hemsley?
I love Sherman. Sherman was good people. He was good people and fun to work. The whole cast was fun to work with. I got a lot of stories, but a lot of them I just won't tell because in terms of telling them, you got to say names. And I don't want to say the names of some of the racist film actors that I work with as being the only black person on the set. You get a lot of these little jobs where you're the only black person on the set, and some of the old, not old timers, but, well, yeah, you could say old timers, same age as me, but they've been in the business for a while.
Right.
Don't really want to work with you. I experienced that.
Wow.
And but you don't want to think that. And you want to go and you want to do your job and you want to do a good job. And I would just get in my little cubby hole in my trailer and stay there, you know, and stay there because they start telling, these people make you want to kick their ass. They start telling black jokes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So it was more blatant.
all these beautiful movie stars that you think they not beautiful.
Wow.
Okay. They start telling them.
Are they still alive? Are they still around? You can't say their names?
Off camera, I will tell you about it. Yeah,
right.
because it's not important to put to put smut on somebody.
Yeah, especially if they're not here.
Yeah, and they're not. Two of them are not here anymore.
Okay.
So
I have a question.
Yeah.
With all that you have navigated and seen, and you still persisted, you still, showed up and showed out. What is your opinion on when you hear like my generation and younger talk about the racism now that they experience with the access to resources and the internet and all the things that we have now? Do you sit back and be like, what are y'all complaining about? Like how does that land on you?
That's a hard question to answer because each generation has its own set of problems.
For sure.
But we're all standing on the backs of some fantastic people.
Yeah.
I would say that, yes, for me, at my age, I would say, yes, it has changed. Okay. And changed for the better. We got young black millionaires. They just don't know what to do with the money. Some of them, I had made a statement once that Magic Johnson needs to hold a big class. You know what I mean? And teach everybody now that you're a millionaire, how you have this money, what to do with it, how to invest it, how to
sustain it,
diverse your funds, and all that.
Yeah.
How to sustain, how to have it.
Yeah.
Instead of being broke. And you're making me think about, who was it? Frank Sinatra had to pay his hospital bill in Vegas.
Red Fox. I think it was Red Fox.
No, the boxer. Was it Joe Louis or?
I think so. I think it was Joe.
Or was it Sugar? It was either Sugar Ray or one of them. And he had to pay his hospital bill in Las Vegas. I can't remember. Could you look that up for me? It was either Joe Louis or Sugar Ray. One of those two, I think. How a lot of them end up just broke because they didn't know what to do with the money that they were making.
Did it ever? Oh.
Joe Louis.
Okay.
It was Joe Louis, yeah.
And in all of this, did it ever, because you had a lot of support from your family and they invested in you, did you ever have a plan B? Was it ever a thought that I may not get here, or was it just I'm doing my thing? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I graduated with a BA in social work.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a bachelor's in social work because I always figured if I couldn't, my mother said you have to have something to fall back on. And so it was, I just said I'll get me a social work job. And then when I was unemployed for a while, it wasn't getting to work. I went over here to Northridge and started working on my master's.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't finish it because God always had a way of just getting me a job. Like I'd go down to the temporary agencies and I'd apply and get, as soon as I start working temp, I'd get a job. And I figured that was my blessing for getting up off of my behind, going to get some work.
Right. Right. Had you ever had to sustain yourself carrying jobs in between your acting?
Yeah. The first few years I worked temp all the time.
Okay.
I worked through Beverly Cross and Vote, VOLT, Vote, Beverly Cross, Kelly Girls. Yeah. I worked one whole summer at Stewart Title Company in Glendale.
Oh,
shout out to Stewart Title. I didn't use them a lot.
Yeah.
I'm notary there.
I did, and I got a job.
Yeah.
And a couple of times I got fired because I said, I got to make this audition. So I told my commercial agent, I was doing a lot of commercials, and I said, make it for 1 o'clock and I could take it like lunch. But by the time
Man.
I left from Glendale
Right.
and got there
Uh-huh.
and then had to wait and do the audition, when I got back to work, it was like after 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't say anything to me, but I got the phone call at home that evening. She says, B, they don't want you to come back.
Did you get the role? You did? It was all worth it then.
It was
all
worth it because I think that was the Cookie Man.
Ah.
See, Nabisco Snackwell took me out of all of that blues.
Oh, that was a blessing right there.
That was the house that I'm in now is how I bought that house, was because of the money I made with Nabisco Snackwell.
Oh, man, that is super
The Cookie
dope.
Man commercials, they took me out. Listen,
Yeah,
put me in that house.
yeah.
I never drew any more unemployment ever.
That's a blessing.
Well, that was, I didn't mind. We felt good drawing our unemployment because we had worked enough as actors to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it all changed. When you first got here, we used to go over, you had to go get it. There wasn't none of this phone stuff and nothing like that. You had to go stand in a line. It was on McCadden Street in Hollywood. And we go down there and get in line and sign up for it. I had to go across the street because I was getting interstate. I found out I could get to New York interstate unemployment first. So, I mean, listen, I think at the time, my last unemployment was $920 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked. That wasn't enough money. And I worked too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you stumble up on, because I know you did Which Way Is Up with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Right. How did you go about getting that? And what was it like working with Rich?
It was good. The whole cast was fabulous. It was good. It was good work. I don't know if I was sent for, I had to audition for Michael Schultz. Someone else, another actress had been hired for the part, I think, Thelma. I can't think my name was Thelma. I can't remember. I had to go and read for Michael Schultz. I was just thinking about, she's gone now, the person who had read for it. And she had a problem with saying the lines. So Michael said, I want you to give it fervent. I want you to say, just let yourself go and be free. And just say, Annie Mae, are you getting any? That's what he said. And then say, I forgot the name of the guy, rocking the little man in the boat all night long. He said, and mean it. You're sitting there, you're playing cards, you're being nasty. He said, because I just can't seem to get that out of any of the actors. And so I said it. Whatever. It wasn't nothing to me. As wild as I was, he didn't know who he was talking to. It was Michael Schultz. I'll never forget it. And I said it. And they didn't say anything, and I left, and a couple of days later, I heard I had the job. I was extremely happy about it. And they were all good. Working with Richard was cool. In fact, he never got the credit he should have gotten for that job because Eddie was fabulous too, but before Eddie or any of them did it, Richard did all the characters.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And he was fabulous. Well, he was a tortured soul.
Yeah. Did you know him prior to that?
No.
Okay. On the set, what was it like just working, seeing his genius, and did you learn from him during that time?
I don't know if I learned anything from him. Just good friendship. He worked well. I mean, he was professional. He worked good. We all did. The cast was really nice. And for me, it was a blessing because I had not been happy. I had stopped basically going to auditions. The agents had it with me. Because after some of my experiences working, honest to God, with a white cast, I just didn't want to do it no more. I told them, It's got to be a black film or a black TV show. I won't do it. And that's basically what happened.
Wow. And you made that stance. Why?
I
Because you got
took that
tired
stance
of the.
because I just was not going to subject myself. I just wasn't going to subject myself to the racism. And I think one day, this film I was doing, I was in makeup, and even the makeup artist, and this bitch was from London. And they came in the room. She said, "Oh," with her accent, "I can't do her makeup. I don't do black people's makeup." And began to put this pink shit on my face. And that's when I said, you know what? I ain't doing no more of this work with these people. So I thought maybe my career damn near was gonna be over. And I just took that stance because I didn't want my feelings hurt no more.
Yeah.
And I was tired of it. And I said, well, I got a college degree. I just go get me a job. I don't have to do this.
Mhm.
And so that's how you began to see me doing all the and black things, because
movies.
that's the only work that I would do.
Yeah, because I know back then, Richard was putting together his whole little team because he did JoJo Dancer, which is actually one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I think it was him and Jim Brown and a few other people.
Yeah.
Is that why you decided that's how you did that part too in JoJo Dancer? Is
No,
you wanted to
Richard
be
called me to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Which-
selling pussy, not piss.
Yes, yes. What the dude wanted you to pee on him.
Yay! Kenny Foray and I are very good friends.
Yeah.
Kenny Foray. I just talked to him the other day. We're good friends.
Yeah.
We're good friends.
You know what I noticed is funny is because I grew up watching you, right? And I was like, wow, in some of these projects, you have had like, supporting roles, or you may have, but it's so cameos, but it's so memorable. So it's like what you get, the little that you may get, you make it count.
Yeah.
I became known for cameos.
Yes, cameos, right?
Yeah.
Which will take me back to Savannah. You and Teddy, who y'all teamed up
God
for.
rest his soul.
Oh, I loved him as Sweet Daddy. He played
well,
the best.
we did something right because they ended up giving us a series. There's so many rumors behind it. Sanford Arms. Okay. Sanford and Son. I don't know what happened, but they fell out with Red and something happened. We didn't know all of this stuff. And so I get a phone call at home, not from an agent, from Norman Lear. It was Norman Lear, Saul Turtletop, and I can't remember the third one's name. It'll come to me. But he said, "This is Norman Lear. Is this BeBe?" Yeah. He said, "Listen, I want you to come down to KJLH on Van Ness Avenue. Anyway, I want you to come down. I want to talk to you about." I'm like, "What the? Talk to you about doing this show, you and Teddy Wilson, da-da-da-da." So before you know it, we were in a show called Sanford Arms. Saw myself and didn't know who I was the other day. One day I'm flicking channels, and this voice sounds like mine. And this person, you see it from the back with this cute high butt and hair all up in the Gibson girl. I swear to God, to you. And she turned around and started talking to me. "Oh shit, that's me."
Wow.
I don't remember what channel or whatever it was, but it was not the whole show. It was some documentary. And her name was Jeannie, and she was doing Sanford Arms, where Teddy Wilson had bought Sanford and Son's junkyard and the whole thing and turned the house into a hotel.
Okay.
And Aunt Esther was still in it. I can't think of his name. The one that played Brady, he was still in it. And Woodrow was still in it. I can't think of the other guy's name. But anyway, the luck was bad because they used Red Fox's real name was Sanford.
Okay.
And they did that to upset him, I
Yeah.
guess, Sanford Arms.
Wow.
So anyway, we got canceled. We did a few shows, and then we got canceled. I forgot all about. I haven't thought about that in so many years.
What
Sitting
was it
there-
like to see yourself like that? Did it just hit you? Did it flood you with all of these memories? Were you like, wow, did you get the gravity of what you had done? Like, how did that feel?
I don't know. Just the time, the years have just
Yeah.
twinkled and twinkled by. And sometimes it just seems overwhelming. Sometimes it just seems surreal.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, you see that. It really seems surreal a lot of times. I get a lot of fan mail. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I really don't get it, and I don't know where they get my address and stuff from. SAG used to send me stuff, but now the stuff comes directly. See, the internet, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's exactly
You gotta
what
get
it
It comes
Delete
in
me.
directly to my house,
is. Right.
but that's not.
Yeah.
I don't use BeBe Drake.
Right.
I don't use my acting name. I don't use it online. I don't use it in any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But they get it some kind of way.
Yeah.
They get it some kind of way. So
I'm curious, what was it like working with John Amos, who recently passed? I mean,
it was good. Listen, every time I have never had a bad experience. And I don't say that because they're my people. I think we've all always been grateful to have the work. He was wonderful to work with. I enjoy working with him and Esther, all of them, because I did a few good times. I did him as Savannah Jones, and then they had me back to do a whole complete different character, Miss Baker.
Yes, you played the Deaf Boy's mom.
Yeah,
Yes.
Miss Baker. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. I've always had a great experience working with all of them.
Nice.
And John, here's one story I can tell you because I didn't know. With John Amos, we went to lunch. You do 2 shows. And I didn't know anything about taping and matching and all of that. We're coming out of going back to get touch-ups on our makeup. And I see some jewelry and wardrobe or whatever, and I put 3 or 4 of these things on, and I did something else and did something else. And John said, you can't wear those to the tape. And I said, why? I'm going to make them more flashy. I'm going to make them more this. He said, I know what the hell he was talking about. He said, they won't match. I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, I don't understand they won't match. He said, B, they're going to take some from the first show when they edit, and they're going to take some from the second show. So you have to keep on exactly what you had on in the first. And that's where I learned about
Continuity. Yep.
Continuity.
honest to God.
Yeah.
John Amos taught me that.
Yeah.
Because I won't match. Match what?
Right.
Damn.
But that's not, listen, that makes me think about one of my best friends who's gone, Nick Latour. Loved him very much. This is a real good buddy of mine. Nick had done a good times and it finished his job and took his ass home. And was sitting there having a cocktail and they looking all over for him to do pickups. Home, having his scotch. They said, home, you weren't dismissed. You have to sign out. The stage manager has to give you dismissal and tell you that it's over, so. He home having his drink. They looking all outside for him, all over the sound stage. But I'm going to tell you, these are things that we didn't know. When we did our very first sitcom, and that was my first sitcom, I didn't know about matching.
Yeah.
You had to learn about matching, and you had to learn that you don't leave until you sign out.
Right.
and they tell you to leave. I'll never get over Nick sitting home having his drink. Oh,
I'm done
it
for
was a
today."
delightful show. And so and so and so and so. He's sitting home having his drink.
Yeah.
Can't wait till the check come. Then they looking all over for him. These are things we had to learn,
Yeah.
though. You gotta sign out, and you gotta be dismissed.
Yes.
You gotta be dismissed. You know.
I want to jump forward real quick because we
Absolutely.
have so much that we could go into. But you and John Witherspoon,
Yeah.
you and John Witherspoon, y'all teamed up a few times.
A few
Three that I
times.
can think of off the top of my head: House Party,
Yeah.
Boomerang, and Friday.
And the boys.
The Boys.
It aired. Do you remember the singing group, The Boys?
Oh yeah, Down My Heart. Yeah.
Okay, well we did a pilot,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't get picked up.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
On the
that.
bit with the late Ron O'Neal
Yes.
and Beverly Todd.
Yes, Beverly Todd.
Okay, they lived on the beach, and their parents had gotten killed in the accident, and they took the boys to raise them.
Oh, wow.
And John Witherspoon and I, it was a good pilot. We're their best friends. And so, yeah, that one, we did that for a week. And Debbie Allen directed it, and it didn't get picked up.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So I want to touch on. I have to.
John.
Boomerang.
Yeah.
You and John.
yeah.
You and John. So the infamous table scene with you, John,
Like, why
Eddie
are you
Murphy,
bringing this up?
Greer,
Yeah.
David Allen Greer,
Yeah, David Allen.
Halle Berry, Martin
Yes.
Lawrence. I'm just curious as a fan, was that improv or was that all in the script? That was all improv?
Most of it was improv.
Okay.
Most of it was improv.
Uh-huh.
It was real strange how all that came about. It was just very strange how it came about. I got a phone call at home. I can't remember who it was. I guess they had reached out to my agent. I really don't remember. But I just remember getting a phone call and could you get yourself ready and to come to New York in 2 days? They're doing this movie, so and so, so and so. Of course, run upstairs, get yourself together. And the limo comes and picks me up. I think they picked John up first. John was already in the car. We laugh and we talk and we happy to have this job.
Yeah.
And they took us, thought they was kidnapping us. They took us some kind of weird back way on some gravel. Well, what happened to the airport? They were flying us this fabulous MGM Grand or Grand Air or something, this huge jet. Remember this? They only went to New York and Cali. And it was fabulous. And they flew us in. It was something, and we went to work. Most of it was all improv.
Really?
A couple of the lines, you had to find a way to put them. That was not an easy job. It was, and it wasn't an easy job. You got all these comedians, and you got to find yourself a place to fit in. Or if you don't, it's just too bad. They are having fun. They are live. They saying all kind of stuff. You got to find yourself somewhere to fit in. I didn't know what to do. They just going on, and so I just said, baby, please, baby, please. You got to find yourself somewhere to come in there.
Yeah.
Or you might as well get up and go back to the trail or whatever. You got to find yourself.
Yeah.
It's not easy working with comedians.
Especially those comedians.
I said, especially those.
Yeah.
You have to really find yourself somewhere to fit in. So I'm not gonna let John be up there talking about bang, bang, bang. And I'm sitting there looking like like crushed dog food or something. Oh, baby, please don't stop. You gotta find somewhere to come in there and get in there and do something, or you lost.
Was that ad-lib when you said, well, you didn't marry me for my cooking?
Yeah, right.
No, that was
That
the
was in the
script.
script?
You didn't marry me for my cooking.
Yeah.
I think that was in the script.
Okay.
And baby, let it go. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. I think, that was in there.
Yeah.
But everything else, there was no bathroom scene.
Okay.
Okay, so that whole bathroom scene was made up. There was no bathroom
That was just
scene.
on the fly. Who came up with that? Was that something that Eddie?
Reginald Hudlin.
Oh, Reggie Hudlin. Okay.
Reginald Hudlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he started the bang, 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 did you expect that? Or
Uh-uh.
no? Because you was like, ooh, daddy, please.
Yeah. I did. You just had to come up with something.
You just had to do it.
You had to come up with something because these comedians would run roughshod over you.
That's
She would not be
sure.
outdone. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
you had to. So I'm like, I'm sitting there. What is he gonna do next? What is he gonna say next?
Yeah.
All that he made up all of that.
Oh wow.
And he lived off of that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
Coordinate.
lived off of that. Coordinate.
Yeah.
And bang bang polo shirts, everything. Coordinate. He lived off of all that. He was fabulous.
He was. What was it like working with Eddie Murphy at that time as well?
Eddie. I see why he's so popular. Eddie works. And he shares. You think when you see these people, sometimes they seem sort of grand. But he works and shares. He shares his lines. He even would do, I was shocked when I looked over at one point, he was off camera. Now I'm always off camera sitting on the cart, the Apple cart.
Apple box, yeah.
Yeah, always, because I'm going to work with you.
Exactly.
Whatever. He'll work with you.
Oh, wow. Because normally they'll put a stand in.
Oh, I've had them all. I've worked on a set where they absolutely would leave.
Yes.
And you reading with somebody else. But no, Eddie works. I enjoyed him. And I thought he would not like it because I went and got my camera. I was going to take pictures of everybody and everything. So when he came back from lunch once and he was coming up the hall and came in, I said, oh, Lord, if I'm going to get cussed out, I'm going to get cussed out. Now I said, let me get a picture. He said, pose. It's a beautiful picture. I still got it.
Yeah.
He stopped and posed and everything. Eddie was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he
That's
was
dope.
really a nice person. But I really thought he was going to go off on me. But I said, I'm going to get me a picture. I'm going to get me a picture. I'm going to get me a picture.
Yeah.
But
What was the relationship like with John Witherspoon, being that y'all worked together so well and so long?
John and I love each other. We became very good friends. And I'm also friends with Angie. That's his wife, Angela Robinson. How we met was so weird. We met at house party. I didn't know John. Went on the set. Finally, I get there, get my car parked, get the instructions, find the stage, go to the stage. It's hot that day. Walk in there, and there's this bed all made up, and Reginald Hudlin is standing there. I had not worked with him yet either, I don't think. So, and then John comes on the set, and we're both shy and quiet because we don't know each other and we don't know what's going on. And so Reginald Hudlin walks over to the bed and he flicks back the sheet in the spread. And I'm just standing. He says, okay, y'all get in the bed. It was the weirdest feeling I've ever had in my life. So, okay. So John gets in and I get in. So now we're in. And that's how we met.
Yeah.
So now we're in this bed. This is weird, huh? And so we got to work. He just said what was, John's going to get up and go to the window and do. And he's going to get back and you're going to call him somebody else's name. It's
hilarious.
Yeah.
Say, come back to bed, Harry.
Yeah. Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how John and I actually met. We honest to
wow.
God met right there on the set. with this, and it was fabrication set, you know,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
on this bed, and that's how we met. And then we did. We worked together a few more times. Yeah.
So fast forwarding, because you and John, you know, then you guys come back full circle for Friday After Next.
Yes.
Yeah, Friday After Next. Now,
Yeah.
how did you get that role, and what was it like working with Ice Cube too?
Well, you know what? I saw Ice Cube. I hadn't met Ice Cube officially. I met him. John Witherspoon and Angie used to have an annual Christmas party. And I went to the Christmas party. And here came Ice Cube with his wife, and I think it was 2 boys. They were young then. And they had a big tent. Everything was full. The house was full. They had a big tent with them gas units in the backyard. It was cold. It was in December. And I was sitting back there talking to Alice Carew. She had passed from breast cancer. Do you remember Topper Carew? He was a producer, one of the major producers for Martin. Was Topper Carew. And she had been battling breast cancer, and she was explaining to me that she had stem cell. I'd never heard of it. And she was trying to explain to me what it was. And Ice Cube and him came back, and somebody introduced me. He said, I love your work. I love your work. And I really need you to be in the next project that I do. I would really, you know, people say that shit all the time. It don't mean nothing. But I really like that. I said, I'd be happy to do, you know, one of your projects. And as the months and time went on, it happened. But it didn't happen like that. I had to go and audition. And audition and audition. I did like 2 or 3 auditions.
Oh, wow.
Which surprised me, you know. But not for Ice, not for him.
Right.
Because he pretended like he wasn't aware of it. You grow and you learn. You know.
Yeah.
But I auditioned for it and got the role.
Okay. Yeah. So the mustache, was that makeup or did you really grow there?
Oh, no. And it really bothered your sinuses so bad. She was real good, Beverly. She took some hair and cut it real fine and put a little glue like that. And then she would.
Yeah.
She was fabulous. His makeup, his makeup artist did it.
Okay.
His makeup artist did it, yeah.
How did you do those lines and run those scenes without laughing?
Right.
How did you do it?
It's like
keep a straight face?
doing 20 takes and carrying on.
Okay.
You never saw the outtake of it,
I did
huh?
see some of it. I saw some of it.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Where do you get all that fire from? Because you seem so poised and so, you know, debutante. You know,
This is what you see now is age.
Okay. 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 So you saying you was a tornado?
What you see now is age.
You was a tornado back in the day.
I was a little wild.
Okay.
I was a little wild.
So for Miss Pearlie, you tapped into that youthful BeBe.
Well, I wasn't gonna let them outdo me.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to really, you have to come strong. I keep telling y'all, when you work with these comedians, they'll run roughshod over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta, they'll keep working without you unless you jump in and say something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to demand their attention because they're not paying the script. Now, I've been home studying.
Yeah.
I've been studying my ass off and they not saying none of the lines.
Yeah.
So I can't get my line
That's
in.
right.
And this
That's
is the
right.
honest to God truth because they done made up a whole bunch of shit to stand there and say, and I'm standing here and I'm saying, get my lines in.
They done went off somewhere else with
So
this
then I
thing.
said something, and so Ice Cube said, "Is that the line, Miss Drake?" I said, "You wrote it." Yeah. Yeah, they go off the script and go all, they say all
But you
kind
gotta
of
show
stuff.
it big, and I like that you do that. I like that
You
you show it
have
big as a
to.
woman. Yes,
Yeah.
You're not
especially.
gonna get your line in if you don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about formulating Miss Pearly? Because she's so memorable. Like you saying, like the saying, "Tell your fine ass daddy." I said, like,
Wow. I don't know. Stuff. This just it's the magic.
it just came.
It just came to me.
Yeah.
It just came to me. I don't know.
And
I
these
like
are
Miss
staples.
Pearly.
It is.
These
like
are staples.
these are lines that people say in the culture.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Casually.
Yeah, they do.
Do fans ever come up to you and say,
All the time. All the time. Ice Cube wanted you to have, he said, I see Miss Pearly with them long, like them more cigarettes, and I want the ash to be this long. And I want it always right here in your lip, hanging out. And I was dead against smoke. I smoked for 30 years until I got lung cancer. And I'm one of the few that have survived it. Thank God it was concentrated in the bottom right lobe, which they completely removed that right lobe. And I had the chemo, the whole bit.
Oh.
And that was in '05. Okay. So, and I told him, I said, listen, I had lung cancer. I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. So you got to let me just do the character. And I said, and I guarantee you won't miss the cigarette. He really wanted that. And I said, I just can't do the cigarette. I don't want to have nothing to do with no smoking. I smoked myself to lung cancer for 30 years. Okay, so he said, okay, Miss Drake, And so I just did whatever. I just whatever, Miss Pearly. I'm the landlady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just kind of had to take ownership and just go wild with it. And I told him, you ain't going to miss it. And he didn't miss it.
That's a fact.
Because he said, he's so right hanging out with always got a long ash on it, all of that. And I said, I can't do that. That was a good job.
Yeah, it was. You did really, really well.
We worked hard. Everybody worked really hard. Everybody worked hard.
Yeah. Was that an ad lib when when he said, you really like because your sons, and you said, shut up, bitch, I know somebody like it. Was that improv too? You said that before to somebody.
That was an ad lib.
Yeah, because
we had a lot of ad lib. We were in there so long.
Yeah.
My God, we were in, a lot of that was ad lib. I don't think they kept that in at one point, but you talking about the laughter? Mike Epps and Q couldn't stop laughing because at one point I told him, I said, "You toenail biting bitch." They fell out. We had so much. We were making up all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. And that brought me back to even, I remember, see, that's what I'm saying. Even with the little bit that you had to work with, you made it so memorable. Because even back as
they love Miss Pearly.
Oh, Miss Pearly. As far back as Savannah, though, when you said to JJ, you skinny alligator.
Skinny alligator.
Was that improv?
No, they wrote that.
Oh, okay.
They wrote beanpole and skinny alligator. Yeah, they wrote that.
And you was like, my face ain't got no hard lines like that.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
And funny.
Right.
Yeah. But that was written. I didn't, I wouldn't have ever taken a liberty to ad lib. I'm just starting out.
Right.
And
especially back in them days.
Right. Yeah, I would have never. I wouldn't have been bold enough to take that, do that.
Let me ask you, how different has the business changed since the 70s to nowadays?
Extreme. It's extreme. It's the technology. Now, it's hard for us veterans to say, I believe in technology. Especially computer. It looks like we'd be lost without the internet. But it's a hard-edged sword because on one side, it permeates unemployment for the masses in the hundreds of thousands of people. On the other side, it makes it more convenient. The first way the industry, I knew that something was going on, started changing was, you get your pictures, you get your black and white glossies, and you order 50 or 100. And it was exciting. You go down there to the studio. I always go to Hollywood over there. Always 40, 20, 30, 40 people up in there ordering their pictures, you know. You get and you come back, you prove, and you have to come back to see the proofs, and you go back and you pay and you pick them up. Same when you sign up for the directory.
Mm-hmm.
You go down to the directory building where SAG had it at one time on Vine Street. You pay your money to be in the directory and all of this and all of that. And then all of a sudden these pictures came into color.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand. It was like overnight the pictures were colored. And I asked my agent, why are they colored? Why are they not black and white anymore? He says he really didn't know. And then eventually he said, well, you know what? I think it's going to have something to do with the computer, B. I think some kind of way they're going to be in color because it's going to have something to do with computer. And so I didn't bother for a long time getting colored pictures, which eventually I had to. That was the first, that was a telltale sign
What was to come?
of something was coming.
Yeah.
Because it slowly but surely, everybody would come in to the audition would have a colored picture. So after that, it started changing. There was this fax machine. Because see, all I know is getting in my car, going to the guard gate and picking up my lines, which was inconvenient. Because I'm living in North Hollywood at that time, and my agent says, I told them to leave them at the guard gate. So you're going to have to go to L.A. and pick them up. So getting in the car, going all the way to L.A.,
Right.
go to the guard gate, give him my name. He give me the envelope with the size in it, and I come back. So I told my mother bought me a fax machine. I got to have a fax machine. So I watched it. Okay, first was the pictures changing from black and white to color. Then was the fax machine. It just kept changing.
Yes.
And then it changed into this round light, a ring light. They call it a ring light.
Yeah.
Before then, there was a cell phone. It just kept changing dramatically. And then all of a sudden, they wanted you to do your audition on this cell phone.
Self-tape. Oh, I hate self-tape. Yeah.
And I couldn't do it because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
You know, and this was way before the pandemic. They started that. I know how to go in the room, how to pick up the sides, keep them in my hands. I don't have to memorize. I can work good enough and work with the camera and work with whoever the casting person has reading with me. I don't need to do all this. This was hard because then they wanted you to get a green screen for the back or be sure to get in front of a wall in your home.
Yes. Yeah.
It just became hard. So it changed technology. You can't stop it. You know, we can't stop it no matter what level it's on. You know, it's eminent domain. If you're living in your home and they want to mow it down and put a freeway, you're going to take that check because eminent domain is the government is going to win that. I remember when they built that Crosstown freeway. Can't think of the number of it now. Is it 205?
215?
Is it the 215? It runs east and west.
The 210.
No, not the 210.
Okay, I'm
the
not sure.
Century Freeway, I think it's called.
Oh, the 105.
The 105. I knew there
105.
was. I've only been. I hate it. I've been on there one time only.
Yeah.
But I remember when people were crying and shedding tears, they didn't want to move, but it's eminent domain. When they get ready to put up a freeway, you're going to give up that house.
Right.
But they're going to give you enough money.
Yeah.
But it's just you can't change what's going to move forward. And so technology kind of took the business over, but you can't present. Here's why we veterans are, because all the agents say you veterans are so against the self-taping. First of all, we're not good at it because we're not technological like that, okay? And part of us getting a job is selling ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's part of you getting your job. You sell yourself.
Right.
And now I'm gonna sit down at home in
Yep.
front of
With
my
no feedback.
Yep. With no feedback.
Yep.
That's what I
yeah,
hate.
in front of my
Yeah.
phone,
Yep.
and I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's just
awkward.
it's so
awkward.
hard.
It is. It's
I actually
awkward.
have a second part to your question because I
Uh-huh.
was
Yeah.
gonna ask that too. So the technology for sure, but you've done newer cinema, like another period. I've seen some clips where you know, are in a more diverse setting. So I wanted to ask from your experiences prior to now moving into a space where even now, you know, the white girls and boys are like, oh, you know, Miss Pearly, they looking at you like, wow, here she is. Did you have a sense of anxiety and, you know, maybe fear going back into set, you know, given the circumstances, or were you pleasantly surprised with how you were welcomed in the newer cinema that you've done?
I don't know how to answer that really because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's never a time that it depends. See, you asking me something that would have to present itself
Mm-hmm.
as a time or whatever. Change it. Ask me the same thing
Okay.
and change the
Have you
direction
had
of it.
Have you had newer experiences with white people or a more diverse cast, and that you were pleasantly surprised to work with, where you didn't have the same experiences previously?
I get what she's saying.
Ye-
She's saying,
Yeah, I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking,
are the new white people better than the old white people?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
There it is. Simplified.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
the crews, even the crews, the actors, yeah, they don't have all that illness
Exactly.
that their parents have. You know, racism is an illness.
It is.
If you really want to look at the truth of it, it's a sickness.
Right.
Oh no, they're fine. I work with anybody and get along, I get along with everybody.
Yeah.
It's changed.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they're
So-
the new young folks. They're fine to work
Yeah.
with.
And they probably love you, as she said, because they're
Yeah,
younger,
they
so
do.
they know Miss Pearly. They know
Yeah,
all
they
these
do.
characters.
Yeah, they're fine, but they don't have that same.
Yeah.
They don't have that same thing that their grandparents
Right,
had,
right.
and perhaps their parents, and all of that. It gets better. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
supposed to get better, and then we have a fall back or a drop back, or
Right.
you know, listen.
So I have a question. So, you know, kind of as she said, you've done a lot of recent stuff too. I mean, you did the voiceover for Boondocks, The Proud Family.
Yeah.
I kind of, and this is an old topic, but still relevant.
okay.
It's still relevant. Taraji P.
Yeah.
Henson talking about the equal pay. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Do you still see that? Because you've seen it from several, you know, a few decades. I won't say several, put several on you, but decades ago. Is that still a real thing that you have to fight for in terms of the pay disparity for Black actors?
Yeah. Always.
Okay.
Always. Yeah. Yeah. Taraji was right on it. She was on the money.
On the money.
She was literally on the money.
Yeah.
Because and I understood everything that she was saying. See, what a lot of people got upset by, but I understood what she was saying. See, what she's looking at is where she's come. Taraji is a major movie star, quote unquote, and she should be making a movie star's money. But see, they'll give Taraji, like, if they can, $250,000, which is a hell of a lot of money, but they'll give her white counterpart that's acting with her $500,000,
Right.
or maybe even $1 million. So I understand where she's coming from. She want more money.
Yeah.
She feels that she's reached that.
Yes.
Just like Cicely Tyson had reached that too, but the
Right.
only one that ever gave her that props was Tyler Perry.
Yeah, Tyler Perry.
See, he gave her what she's really worth.
Have you had a chance to work in some of his stuff with Tyler Perry?
I had a chance, but I was sick. Isn't that something? I was supposed to do Maybelline, Judge Maybelline's role.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? But I couldn't have gone anyway. When I get a cold, I get a cold.
Me too.
Okay, you know what I mean?
I'm down with a cold.
Yeah.
When I get a cold, I'm in the bed with the Vicks and the chicken noodle soup and the and I'm just having a common cold. I get a cold really bad. And thank you, God, I haven't had one in a very long time. And Reuben Cannon or Eileen Knight, one of them called me and said, we're reading a Tyler Perry show. That didn't mean a lot to me. I said, I got a really bad cold. Oh, B, can you just listen, just come to the read. I assure you that if you read the part, he will give you the part. I said, I can't. I'm weak. My ears are ringing. And I'm talking to him. My ears are ringing. Get a cold. I have to get into bed with the common head cold. I can't walk around with it. And I had a cold.
Wow.
And I had a cold. So, and it was one of the rainy seasons, and it was raining. I would have gone had I not been sick, but that's what happened. I was supposed to read the Judge Maybelline's part.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I also didn't think that they would give me the job like Reuben and them said.
Why?
Because the script had her name on it. The character above the lines had Judge Maybelline. And I said, this is Judge Maybelline. They just want to get me in there and use me to read. And I still believe that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you ended up seeing the movie, who'd you see? Judge Maybelline.
Judge Maybelline. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm so glad I let them get me out there to read. I would have been so mad. But then it might not have happened. Then it might happen because it was the second one and she wasn't there. Somebody else read the judge in the second one, you know.
So I hear that they're talking about bringing back Friday again. They've been talking about it.
They've been talking about that
for years.
For years.
If they do, will you think you'll be a part of it? Would you like to be a part of it?
John's gone. I don't know what, how he would hook Miss Pearlie up in there. I think it's talk. They've been talking about it. They swear they have been writing on it. Listen, John and I talked about it. John said he had talked to Ice Cube. It's been a few years ago. Forgot all about that. He had talked to Ice Cube about doing the Friday 4 and what they could do. And he said, me and you gonna be in the room with the door closed, and we're gonna have a suitcase, and I will be telling you, sit on it. You ain't sitting on it hard enough. All kind of crazy lines like that. And Anna Horsford opens the door, and I'm sitting on top of the suitcase. So he said he was giving them all kind of scenarios about it, what to do and all of that. And I said, I think I made a comment about, well, shit, he need to hurry up. Hell, we gonna be dead by the time they get ready to do another one. I think I made that comment. We just talking, because every year they gonna do another one. Every year they gonna do it. They definitely doing one now. I don't think.
What do you think holds it up? What keeps it from getting done?
You asking me a question I've asked myself. I think that I know that this Matthew Berry produces along with Ice Cube and New Line Cinema. One of them or all three of them just not ready. I don't know. I know the three of them are major producers together. I don't know. Ice Cube stays busy.
He does. Yeah.
He stays busy, and I've always felt that he didn't want to do another one. I just kind of feel that he's always working. He's a workaholic, by the way. He loves the industry. He told me that. We were talking about it one day, and he said, Miss Drake, I just love this. I really love it. So I don't know what the holdup is. I don't think being the money and all that they've made, they know that it would be a success. I just have a feeling that everybody asks him, he always, we're going to do another one. I don't think he wants to.
Wow.
Because he has enough contact
to get it done.
To get it
I
done,
feel it.
right? You
to
would
get
think.
it done.
You would think, and it's a no-brainer. So,
But I don't know if I would even be a part of it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'd be a part of it because each one that he's done, sort of as this character comes in, he uses another character. Remember, Next Friday was an Asian woman. She
Yes.
was fabulous.
Yes.
And then the first one, I can't hardly remember the first one anymore. Was that the Latin girl?
No,
That was Next Friday,
That was
too.
Next Friday.
That was
Latin
Next
girl.
Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know, but I'd be
Yeah.
glad I would do it.
Yeah.
You know.
So kind of before we let you go, I want to ask you, so with all the stuff that you see going on, in the media, all the Hollywood drama, the salaciousness, the puffy stuff, the Weinsteins and all of that. And I'm sure back in your day, it was just as prevalent, if not worse, because you didn't have the social media and things. How did you navigate that as a young actress, a beautiful woman coming through, Hollywood? Like, because I'm sure you were propositioned inappropriate throughout the years. Like, and what advice would you give to up and coming actresses?
Just don't do it.
Okay.
You just don't do it. You will get hit on. You will get hit on right there. They can't do it. It's not set up like that anymore. Because you're home doing self-tapes to send in.
Right.
You're not going in here with the cat, because
With
it
the
was
casting couches.
always a long couch sitting in there.
Yeah.
You're not going, and I really didn't get a lot of it. I didn't get a lot of it.
What
I
can you
didn't-
attribute that to? Do you feel
They
like
were
you just
scared
set
of you?
boundaries? I was say,
Yeah,
do you
were
feel like
they
your energy
intimidated by
sets
you?
boundaries? Yeah.
Maybe, but I didn't get a lot of it. I got some of it over at NBC once. I just laugh it off. I can't remember the whole conversation and all that, but I knew that I was getting hit on.
Okay.
And I just,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I just laughed it off, but I didn't get a lot of it because I think that let me tell you what I really think. They know who to mess with and who not to mess with. I think they know all of that because I'm one person who I did not get a lot of that. I really didn't. I remember one in particular. I'm not going to say the name. And he had to make it look like a joke after I sat there and just laugh. See, they'll open that door. You don't have to step through it. I didn't take it serious. I knew he was serious, because I said to myself, this uncle's hitting on me. So I just laughed and said something and looked at the script or whatever. And then finally, he said, "Oh, okay, well, so let's run one." So we were back on the page for the interview,
Right. Right.
But I would tell any of these, you don't have to do that. You just don't have to do that. You really don't have to do it. You don't have to get caught up. I never got caught up in none of the stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I never got caught up, and I'm not going to say that. The parties that I went to were drug oriented. They wasn't this old get in the room with the baby oil. Wasn't
Right.
if that was going on, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
What I came up on, they was in their free basin. They go back in there, close the door, and I'm talking about the big timers.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what they was doing. They was back there free basing. They was back there cooking up the coke and smoking it.
Yep.
You know, that's what would be going on behind the closed doors. You know, not that, and in the locked bathrooms, there'd be sexing, but it was usually a male and a female.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to say I haven't been to no parties where they probably wasn't doing a little on the get down or something like that, but no, wasn't no freak offs.
Yeah.
You
So-
know, or
So
not.
you've been
It is
able
a
to
freak out.
just stay away from all the madness and the craziness.
Just all of that. I've been to some wild parties, but that wild parties was loud music, getting drunk,
Yeah.
snorting and smoking cocaine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, but maybe something I don't know. After you
Right.
leave, you never know what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? But even at the speakeasies, you know, in my time, we all went to the speakeasies. Now, that's anybody's house who's having after hours, who got some drugs, selling you a drink for $2, $3. The speakeasies, when I came out here in the 70s, was jumping.
Yeah.
We used to go all down through Englewood and come out and it was a damn shame. That song, you remember a song, Daylight's gonna catch me up again.
Yeah.
Gonna catch me, and that's what come out to speakeasy. Oh my God, like a vampire. I mean, serious. We was on the wild and the light was out.
Yeah.
The sun was out hitting you in the face. It's 7-something in the morning. You've been in this place all night. Lord have mercy.
Man, y'all was having innocent, regular fun
We
compared
was
to what they
partying.
was doing. Yeah.
We was partying, and we was having a good time. But all that freak off stuff and all of that.
You said no.
Now, if you hook up with somebody and go
Yeah.
home with them or something like that, that's on you.
Right.
But all this old other this stuff is crazy if
Yeah.
it's all true.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to be. What I was saying to all of these young folks, especially the ones making money, I would tell the girls, stay off the casting couch because you don't have to do that. You're better than that. I would tell the guys, somebody's always out to get you. Magic Johnson would tell you they are always out to get you. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you with money. So stay legal and be careful. You know, after the R. Kelly mess, you would think that everybody
Yeah.
in that position or in the industry
Yeah. We'll be scared.
would be scared
Yeah.
or would watch what they're doing, would straighten up.
I have a final question. With your career and just everything that you have accomplished, is it everything that you expected and wanted it to be?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, yeah, it sort of is because I always think about that myself because I think if I wanted more, I would have done more. I've said, there have been some great jobs that came my way and I just absolutely said no. Not for wanting not, but some of it was just so foul that I didn't want, I just said, oh no, I couldn't, I won't even read for it. Never thinking that I could probably bring something to the particular role that would really be about or do something. There's no work that I can't do. There's just work that I won't do.
Yeah.
You know, some of it. But that's part of the whole old school thing. Because when I came into the industry, they was always, all they wanted us to be was a hoe or a maid, a hoe or a maid, a hoe or a maid. And so you just get where it was rough, but I came through it. It's fine. I'm happy with the decisions that I made. I feel blessed.
Yeah.
You know, I feel very blessed. God's been good to me.
That's beautiful.
He's been real good to me. And I try to do all the things that I'm supposed to do. My Christianity is shaky. But I mean, you know,
Yeah. Why do you say it's shaky?
I cuss. Sometimes I cuss a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it.
Mm.
I don't do anything else.
I don't think God will hold that against you.
I don't
think you
think,
be
so.
all right.
You know, I really give up. You know, listen, I stopped. I used to do drugs, and I got the Cookie Man commercial, and I did it, and it was fine. Lord have mercy. A few months later, they called me to do another one. Lord have mercy. When I got to do the third one, and the money was coming in, and they wanted me to sign a contract and all this, I promised him I wouldn't do no dope no more, and that if he blessed me, this promise I made to God, and he was blessing me like he was blessing me, that I would always tithe. I would be righteous with all the finances and do the things I'm supposed to do, and did.
Mhm.
And that was about 32 years ago.
Wow.
And I did that.
Been a good steward.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Dope.
and I did
And
that.
sober.
I
And
told him,
sober
yeah, I
since
would
then.
never
Yeah.
waste your money messing with no cocaine or doing none of that kind of stuff no more as long as I live.
Wow.
He was blessing me.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to straighten up and do right, and I did. And I did. And I still give to the same, all these different organizations. I don't even see it because I have an account set up that so much goes to, like, Doctors Without Borders, Mercy Ships, UNICEF, CARE, Senior Citizen Meals on Wheels, LA,
Yes.
not Arlington,
Yeah.
Arlington, Washington, but no, it goes to LA. And especially Salvation Army is one of my big ones, especially the summer camp. So, and I don't have no lot of money, don't no lot of money go to them, but just a little, but it turns out to be a lot over 20
Over
some
time.
years.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. You
but
bless
monthly
a lot of people.
it does. It's just a few $100
And you've
a month.
diversified your tithing. I love that.
Yeah.
No,
love
that's
it.
dope.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
still
yeah.
bless
That's cool.
You
some
have
family.
to.
Yeah.
And you need all the deductions. Listen, the kids are gone.
Yeah.
They doing their own thing. They're older than you. You know what I mean? So I don't have no deductions.
Yeah.
So those are my kids.
Right.
You know, the charitable
Yes.
organizations.
Yes.
Those are your deductions.
Those are my
Yeah.
children.
Yep.
They become you gotta have something.
Yeah. See, that's
You
some
know.
game. That's some game right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to. I told that to Richard Pryor. We had a talk once, and we were talking about the money and about the this and about the that. And he had a terrible time with this Franklin, this attorney Franklin in Atlanta, Georgia, that was messed him out of all his money and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I told him all that, we just had to really talk about deductions and money. He ain't the only one I talked with. Me and Michael Jordan talked about it. But he turned around and he bought the neonatal machine for the hospital. The neonatal machine at that time was $250,000. And Richard bought that neonatal machine, I forget, under Kwanzaa. There was a black female entertainment of actresses, and they were called Kwanzaa. And he gave it to Kwanzaa to get the neonatal machine, you know. See, so, and Michael Jordan, I loved Michael. I did Space Jam with him. We were sitting around talking while the cameras were resetting and all that. We were in Pasadena, and he said something to me. I can't realize. I don't remember what it was. He said something. And I said, well, you know what? It don't matter because I've already found out the more I make, the more I take. And I was talking about little me, insignificant me in the scheme of God's world, and the IRS and the thousands, a few $1,000s I had to pay back because I don't have no real reductions. I said, so that doesn't matter anymore to me about how much I make. And he said to me, I ain't gonna never forget it, don't you ever say you have enough money, because there's not enough money in the world that you don't have enough money. I looked at him like, what the hell? Why would he say something like that? And he said, now what I'm saying to you, Miss Drake, is the more money you have, the more you can give. He said, you the one want to build wells. He said, and you can send them $200 to help, or you can pay the $4,500 to build the well in the village. And I'll never forget it.
Wow.
He said, there's never enough money because the more you have, the more you can give to those who need it or whomever's in your heart. Michael Jordan said that.
Wow.
He said, that's all the money. He said, yeah, you can give a couple $100 to help build a well, or you can give the $4,500 and build a well.
That's beautiful. Well, on that
Yeah.
note, Mrs. Drake.
Well, thank
we're
you. I
gonna-
I gotta wait to see this. When I look in that camera, I'm looking directly, huh?
Yes.
But you know, the whole interview's been with you
Yeah.
and
That's
you.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, your outline is to us.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But on that note, don't take that out yet.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah. on that note, man, listen. I appreciate you for coming and spending this time
Thank
with us.
you.
Yeah.
It's been a treat. This is really one of my bucket list interviews. I've done many, but I appreciate you again, as I said at the beginning, because you don't do this.
I really swear to God, I
You don't do this. And
But you can credit Brian.
yeah, shout out to
He
Brian.
became
He said that.
annoying.
Yeah. He told me. He was
he
letting me
just-
know. He was like,
he can do anything he wants to. He could be extremely successful, whatever he chooses, because he's persistent as
Yes.
hell.
yes. He told me. He was advocating on my behalf. He said, I'm on it, OG. I'm
Yeah,
talking to her. I'm talking to her. I'm on it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't know how success. We had a discussion this morning how successful he can be in anything that he chooses to do, because he puts his eye on a goal, whatever it is, and he goes after it. But his persistency
Yeah.
is above average.
Yeah. Well, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother, for making this happen. Thank you for making this happen.
Yeah.
But man, I just, I'm so grateful that we could give you your flowers and have this conversation with you.
Thank
And
you.
I want to be able to introduce all the new fans. They already know you,
Yeah.
but they want to see this. They want to tap in with you. They want to know your history, your walk, your story.
Yeah.
And we couldn't cover it in this little hour and a half. So you're always.
We covered a lot.
We did. So you're always welcome here. If you have a new movie, new projects, feel free. I'm
Well,
always
let's
here
wait
to
and
be
see
of
what's going
service.
to happen with this Michael Collier.
Yeah. right.
I want to know what's going to happen with this
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said the same thing. So I think he's coming probably around the
I
same
hope
time.
Netflix pick it up. Then I
Right.
build some wells.
That's right. That's
I
right.
ain't did nothing for Netflix be paying them actors.
Yeah.
Netflix, ooh.
With Netflix, hey, you
Come
need
on
to
now.
get Miss Drake. She's a legend, and she gonna put the asses in the seats, no doubt.
Yeah.
So on that
We'll
note,
try. But thank you. I've
Yes.
enjoyed both of you very much.
thank you, thank you,
Very,
Miss
very
Drake.
much.
Thank you.
I might be working for you one day.
Listen, look, I'll put you on. I would welcome you with open
You're
arms.
definitely gonna be a producer.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
That's the ultimate.
This is my
Yes.
future billionaire. That's what I call her. She
Yeah,
just told me.
billionaires.
She
Yes.
just told me
Ooh,
she
yes.
won't give me any grandkids. She's gonna give me millions.
Yeah.
So
She'll give you one because she gonna meet that man. She
Look,
gonna give you one.
she gonna meet that man that's gonna make her say hi.
Yeah. She'll give you maybe one.
Yeah.
She gonna meet that man that she's gonna want to do that for.
We'll see, because this is a hard one. You know what I mean? But on that note, man, we're going to get out of here. I'm Big Court of the
Yes.
Holdin Court podcast with my beautiful oldest daughter, Rachel Renee, and the lovely BeBe Drake. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
That's another one. Salute.